it's Kai, and you're watching another movie of the week. And the movie of this week was 500 Days of Summer from 2009, so if you haven't watch it now. If you're new to movie of the week, is I talk about a movie here, and at the end of the video, see the movie for next week, so make sure you watch the entire thing. And in 2025, we're doing like different romance movies, so that's why we're doing this movie. So I've watched this movie multiple times, and I don't know exactly, I don't think it's more than 10 times, but I would say at least 5, maybe 6, 7. If you said 8, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, a part of me was like, I've watched this so many times before, and like, will I be bored? You know, all this stuff, like, will it not be that interesting? Because it's not like I've watched it once or twice before, like I've watched it multiple times. I was pleasantly surprised because it still was interesting and it still was intriguing. It didn't feel exactly like I was watching it for the first time, but it felt like still like new, and it wasn't like I knew everything that was gonna happen, and it still felt like I was so engaged, which I feel like sometimes when I'm doing these movies that I've seen before, because I've seen all these movies before, or I'm not gonna do them, I don't feel as engaged, and I feel like I still felt engaged with this. I feel like this movie is just really brilliant in many ways because it kind of shows the reality of love. I mean, I'm a person who's a sucker for rom-com. I'm a sucker when they get happy and it's a happy story and they're together in the end, but that's not the real world, and it's kind of sad that that's not the real world. And I feel like sometimes rom-coms or these Disney movies or whatever, you know, I'm so critical of kids movies. They have this like fantasy of a life, and then little girls like me or whoever grow up having these fantasies, and then you get to the real world, or I guess you grow up and you mature to become an adult woman, whatever, and you realize those fantasies never happen, and then it's so hard. And I feel like part for me is like, it's so hard because you have these expectations, or society says all these things have to happen, or you have to like find your one true love and it has to be in this certain way, when that's not real. And then it just makes it harder because you feel this pressure from society, and you feel like I'm a loser if I'm not married by this certain age. I'm a loser if I don't have kids by this certain age. I'm a loser if I don't have this like love exactly the way it is in movies. So I feel that way very heavily, and so it's great to have a movie that shows the reality and it feels real, and it's not a rom-com, but it's still so interesting and it's so watchable, and it doesn't have a happy ending. It has a little bit of a hopeful ending, I would say, but it's something where the two love interests don't get it together, and I think that's beautiful. And there needs to be more movies like this, and I'm so appreciative of this movie and what it's done. So I feel like it's so great that like it kind of doesn't go into the order, like we don't see everything chronologically, like it, you know, it goes in and out, because it's something, you know, especially when you're first time watching, you're like, they seem so happy in this scene, and then the next scene they're so bad. So like, how to get there? And it's something where it's like you're trying to put the pieces together, like the puzzle pieces together, and try to figure it out. But it's also, I guess it's like, what's his name? What's the main character's name? Joseph's character. I don't know the character's names. I know her name's Summer, right? Also amazing cast. But I forgot his name. Anyway, but you know, he is also trying to figure out like, how did this happen? I was so in love with her, all this stuff. I think it's something where definitely, like, I read something online before I rewatched this time where it's saying like, she was straight away like, I don't want a relationship, like this is what I want, you know, understand what I want. And like a lot of times that's what men do. It's the opposite, where men are like, I'm not looking for something serious, and then the girl falls head over heels. So it's kind of like the roles in reverse. And so I kind of went into that mindset of like, oh my god, am I gonna hate the Summer character? Because like technically she's like, the roles are reversed, and you say I hate guys who are like this and stuff. I don't know, because it's kind of like they're leading you on, even though they're like, I don't want a relationship, but then they like treat you in this way that it's like you're in a relationship, which, oh my god, his name is Tom. Is that his name? But anyway, despite all that, I was still on her side, because the way he talked about her, especially like at the beginning, where he's like so in love with her in one scene, and then he's like, she had a good weekend, like she said her weekend's good, so she's a skank. Excuse me? And I don't think I like really picked up on that ever before, like that scene where he says that about her. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. And I do feel bad for him that like once they do break up, she does like find the love of her life. And even though she's like, I'm not looking for this thing, like this thing found her. And it's just like, that's the reality. And I think when you look at that with the roles reversed, it's like this guy is always saying to you, like, I don't want a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship. And when you like kind of end whatever situationship you're in, he immediately gets into a relationship. And so that's kind of like the similarities I find from it. So I just think it's so hard. And I think I also saw this comment that like men love this movie because it's like them. They are the victims in this movie. And like I do feel for him. But I also understand her perspective. And I feel like if the roles were reversed back to what is actually usually real life, like I also feel like I understand both sides where, you know, he's saying I don't want this thing and you're getting expectations, but I also feel bad. So I feel like I feel for both sides, and I feel like the film does that well. Yes, we're getting it from Tom or whatever his name's perspective, and yes, we're supposed to feel for him and he's the victim. But I feel like they do it where it's not, you don't feel fully for him, like you understand both sides. And I think this movie is very, very smart. I also always love, I feel like it's my favorite scene, when he goes to the party towards the end and they do a split scene of his expectations and reality. That is so real. I mean, I do that. I do that about like every situation. It's like, I'm so type A and I'm so like overthinking about everything. Like I can't go into like let's say I'm like, go to a part, or well, they did a party in this movie, but like I can't go to a party and not like think beforehand like these things are gonna happen. And of course like those things never happen, but I can't like not think about it beforehand. Like that's just how my brain chemistry works. And I feel like most people are kind of this way, maybe not to the extent of I am, and it's like I'm crazy because I am a little bit, but just really, it's sometimes a lot because you're always kind of let down. That's why I kind of like when things are kind of spontaneous. Like I am the kind of person that's like when like the night is spontaneous and you can go into any way. I just like need to know like what time are we meeting up, where are we meeting up, and then like maybe the night can take us somewhere else, where I try not to have too much expectations. I try not to overthink the night, but it's just so hard for me. Anyway, but despite me in that scene, you know, this is more about like his hope for getting back to Summer, and it's just so crazy. Like it was all in his head, and like it's just so smart. The writing's so smart, the scene's so smart. Anyway, I keep talking about like all these smart things these movies do and how it's not a rom-com and it doesn't show like true love per se, but it shows like realness. And this, I feel like a lot of people can connect from both sides, and maybe at one point you're feeling Tom in your life, and one point you're feeling like Summer, and I just feel like it shows more reality of life and like the world and all these things. So I'm gonna end it here, but I just feel like there needs to be more movies like this, and I think that's the point of doing this for Movie of the Week, is because yes, last week was a rom-com, and yes, I love rom-coms, and yes, there'll be more rom-coms, but that's not the only genre of romance. And this technically, I did it for Movie of the Week because it is romance here and it shows real life. And I think it's important to only watch like one genre of romance. Like it's important to watch multiple genres of romance and to talk about it here and understand. Like that's the thing, is like, yes, I love this movie. Yes, I think there should be more movies like this, but this shouldn't be the only genre for romance. Like we do need those rom-coms ever so often, because you know some people do have a rom-com and happy life and whatever it is. I don't know, not me yet, or ever. I don't know, we'll see. But this is so sad. But anyway, I am gonna end it here because it's long. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye. Okay, so I did something I've never done before, where I forgot to say the movie for next week. I've literally never done that before, where I forgot. So the movie for next week is Love, Wedding, Repeat from 2020. So sorry I forgot to say it, but I'm saying it now. You know, watch Love, Wedding, Repeat for next week. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.